Hello dear students, myself Miss Vaishali Dekate. Welcome to my channel. I am teaching you subject Maths 2 in Standard 9. In this video, we will continue with our chapter number 1, Basic Concepts in Geometry. We will solve questions from problem set 1. This is part 2 in which we solve question number 7 to 10. But before that, subscribe my channel by pressing subscribe at right side. Press the bell icon also to get my all videos of standard 9. Now in this video, let us start to solve from question number 7. In previous video, we have solved question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I have given the link of previous video, part 1 of problem set 1 in my description box. You can watch that video also. Now let us see this question number 7. Write the following statements in conditional form. Conditional form we have done in practice set 1.3 also. Conditional form statement means the statement which is having two words, if and then. We have to divide given statement in two parts and we can write after if and after then. We have to write few words which follows if and few words which follows then. And we have to check how to write it. Now first statement given to us is every rhombus is a square. Now see children, rhombus and square both are the quadrilateral. Quadrilaterals we all know, quadrilateral means having four sides. Quadri means four. Quadri means four. And lateral means side. Lateral means sides. So four sides figure is a quadrilateral. Rhombus is also a quadrilateral and square is also a quadrilateral. Now according to given statement here, what is given? Every rhombus is a square. So we will make two parts. First part will be every rhombus and second part will be is square. So here we can write if and here we can write then. And we will have to form meaningful statement, meaningful conditional statement. We cannot only write if every rhombus then is a square. No, we have to make it meaningful. So if I start my statement from if, what should I write? Every rhombus should I write? No. If the quadrilateral is rhombus, then it is a square. Then it is a square. If it is rhombus, then it is square. Okay. So in this way we can make two parts and we can write our conditional statement by adding if and then these two words. Now let us see the next statement. Angles in a linear pair are supplementary. So we can make two parts, angles in linear pair and are supplementary will be the second part. See, most of the time you can use this verb to separate the sentence. Okay. This helping verb can be used as a to make two separate statement. So here we can add if and from here we can add then. Now let us see how to write it. If. Shall I write directly if angles in a linear pair? If the angles are in a linear pair, the sentence should become meaningful, correct? So if the angles are in a linear pair, then they are supplementary. Correct? When two angles are in a linear pair means they are in the same line, we all know. So here we can see two angles, angle AOB and angle AOC. These two angles are there, AOB and AOC. They are angles forming linear pair. They are in the same line. And we all know angles in a linear pair are supplementary. That means their total is 180 degree. So we have to see that this statement should be meaningful. It should become meaningful. So if the angles are in linear pair, then they are supplementary. Same way here in first statement, how we have written, if the quadrilateral is rhombus, then it is square. So if this quadrilateral is rhombus, then it is square. Okay, it is not necessary every time all the rhombuses are square, but here according to our given statement we have to write it. So it is rhombus, all four sides are congruent is rhombus, we all know, and when all four angles are 90 degree it becomes square. So here according to given statement we have written if the quadrilateral is rhombus then it is square. In this way we have written conditional statements which are meaningful. Now let us see the third one. The triangle is a figure formed by three segments. So how to write? Here we write if, then formed by, we can write then here. And how to make the meaningful statement? We all know triangle is formed by three segments, 1, 2 and 3. In this way we require three segments to form a triangle. So let us see how to write it in the meaningful statement by using if and then in the given statement. So if, shall we write if a triangle is figure? No. If the figure is triangle, then it is formed by three segments. Correct? If the figure is triangle, then it is formed by three segments. It is necessary that the figure should be formed by three segments, then it becomes a triangle. So if the figure is triangle, then it is formed by three segments. So always see that the conditional statement should become meaningful. As I have told you, it is more of part of English grammar. Now let us see the fourth one. The number having only two divisors is called prime number. So if, and before is we can write then, and then we can make it meaningful. If the number has only two divisors, only two divisors. Okay, if a number having only two divisors, so we should write properly if the number has only two divisors. English grammar we have to check it properly. So if the number has only two divisors, then what will happen? Then that number is a prime number. We all know prime number has only two divisor, a number itself and 1. So the number has only two divisor, then that number is a prime number. In this way we have to write all conditional statements from this question. Now question number 8, write the converse of each of the following statement. We all know in converse the antecedent becomes consequent and consequent becomes the antecedent. Correct? So after if, the statement written is antecedent. Correct? And after then the statement written is consequent. Now when we want to write its converse, so consequent becomes antecedent and antecedent becomes consequent. So in this way we have to make two parts. After if, till then it is antecedent, and after then it is consequent. We have to interchange. In place of consequent write antecedent, in place of antecedent write consequent. So let us see how to write the converse. We have done it before in practice set 1.3 also. So how to write it? So after if, what is given? The sum of measures of angle in a figure is 180, and after then what is given? The figure is a triangle. So we have to write opposite of it. We start our statement from if. Converse also we will start from if. So after if, what should be written? The figure is a triangle. If the figure is a triangle, here in the given statement it is written after then. This sentence is written after then, but in its converse we will be writing it after if. If the figure is a triangle, then After then what should be written? Now after then we have to written whatever is given after if till this comma or before then. So after then what we will be writing? Then the sum of measures of angle is 180 degree. If you don't write figure also it is okay, because figure it is here written here. Then the sum of measures of angles is 180 degree. In this way we have to write the converse. Okay, we have to interchange. Very easy. Writing converse is very easy. We have to interchange the parts of the statements. Now let us see this second one. If the sum of measures of two angles is 90 degree, then they are complement of each other. So then and after then they are complement of each other is given. So we will be starting if two angles. We should not start by from they. We should write if two angles are complementary angles, or we can write complement of each other. Okay, as it is given in the question, we will be writing if two angles are complement of each other. Then what should be written? Then the sum of measures of two angles is 90 degree. Then the sum of their measures is 90 degree. Okay, so after if we have written this sentence, and after then we have written this sentence, we have interchanged. Okay, now let us see the third one. Third one is if the corresponding angles formed by a transversal of two lines are congruent, then two lines are parallel. So after then what is there? Two lines are parallel. So these two lines are parallel, we write after if. If two lines are parallel, okay, after then what is given to us? Two lines are parallel. This we have written after if. If two lines are parallel, then what will happen? Then the corresponding angles form transversal of two lines are congruent. Then the corresponding angles formed. See children, we have to add few words on your own so that the sentence will become meaningful. Then the angles formed by those two parallel lines and their transversal are congruent. We all know that. Okay, so if two lines I should write, na? If two lines are parallel, then the corresponding angles formed by two parallel lines and their transversal are congruent. Now last sentence. Last sentence is if the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. So after then what is there? The number is divisible by 3. So we start from if, and we will be writing this second part of the statement first. If the number is divisible by 3, then what should be written after then? If the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, then the sum of sum of the digits of that number is divisible by 3. So in this way, by interchanging, we can write the converse of given statement. Question number 9. Write the antecedent, that is given part, and consequent means part to be proved in the following statement. So we all know how to find out antecedent and consequent. This is first statement. If all sides of triangle are congruent, then its all angles are congruent. So let us write. We all know after if, the statement is antecedent. The statement which follows if is antecedent. So all sides of triangle are congruent will become our antecedent. And after then the statement follows is known as consequent. So it's all angles are congruent is the consequent. We should not write if and then while writing antecedent and consequent. So in antecedent, both should be written. All sides of triangle are congruent. Okay, this is antecedent. And in consequent, what should be written? The statement which follows the word then. Very easy this one. Consequent, all angles are congruent. Now let us see second sentence. The diagonals of parallelogram bisect each other. Diagonals of what? Parallelogram. And what is the property? They bisect each other. So how to recognize which is the antecedent and which is the consequent? Because if and then, these two words are not given in this sentence. So we will have to read the sentence carefully. Diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other, but of what? Of parallelogram. So the quadrilateral is parallelogram and property is about the diagonal. So antecedent is the quadrilateral is parallelogram. If the quadrilateral is parallelogram, then diagonals bisect each other. If we want to write in the conditional statement, how we will be writing here? If the quadrilateral is parallelogram. We all know parallelogram is a type of a quadrilateral. We have learnt it in our 8th standard also. So if the quadrilateral is parallelogram, then what will happen with the diagonals? Then diagonals bisect each other. Correct? So the antecedent is the quadrilateral is parallelogram and the consequent is diagonals bisect each other. So after if, the antecedent is written, the quadrilateral is parallelogram and after then the consequent is written. So consequent diagonals bisect each other. So I have explained you all also antecedent can be considered as question and consequent is its answer, or antecedent is given part and consequent is part to be proved. So in this way we can write antecedent and consequent. If and then this conditional statement is not given, so you can convert it into the conditional statement and then you can write its antecedent and consequent like this. Now question number 10. Draw a labeled figure showing information in each of the following statement and write the antecedent and consequent. We all know now what is antecedent and what is consequent. So we have to first draw the diagram, and according to diagram, from that diagram we have to write antecedent and consequent. So let us see. First statement is two equilateral triangles are similar. So we will first convert this statement into conditional statement. Let us write it into the conditional statement. See children, how will you write this statement into conditional? We all can write it if and then form. If two triangles are equilateral and before R helping word, R is a helping word, we can write then. Before helping word we can write then. So how can we convert it into the conditional statement? If two triangles are similar, correct? And then, sorry, are not similar, we have to write this equilateral now. So if two triangles are equilateral, then they are similar. Then they are similar. We all know equilateral triangles are similar to each other. So we have to first draw it and then we have to write its antecedent and consequent. So let us draw any two equilateral triangles. Equilateral means all three sides equal. Equilateral means equal sides. Equi means equal, lateral means sides. So this is triangle ABC whose all three sides are congruent with each other. AB is congruent with BC, BC is congruent with AC, AC is congruent with AB. So this is one triangle, and second triangle I will draw a little bigger than this. This is also a equilateral triangle whose all three sides are congruent with each other, P, Q and R. So PQ is congruent with PR is congruent with QR. All three sides are congruent with each other. So in this way we have drawn two equilateral triangles. So according to our conditional statement we have to write antecedent and consequent. So after if, the statement written is antecedent, we all know, and after then the statement written is consequent. That means this is the given part and this part is to be proved. So in antecedent what should be written? These two triangles are similar, triangle ABC and triangle PQR. These two triangles are these two triangles are equilateral. If two triangles are equilateral, this is our antecedent. So antecedent we have to write from given figure. This figure which we have drawn, from this figure we have to write our antecedent. Antecedent is if two triangles are equilateral. So which two triangles we have drawn? We have drawn triangle ABC and triangle PQR. So triangle ABC and triangle PQR are equilateral triangles. And what is to be proved? That is consequent. What we have to prove? We have to prove that these two triangles are similar to each other. So consequent is triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. This is similar sign. We all know this is a symbol for similarity. So in this way we have to write antecedent and consequent. Antecedent means part which is given to us, which is written after if, and consequent means part which we have to prove, that is written after then. So in this according to these two diagrams, ABC and PQR are equilateral triangle. This is given to us, and what is to be proved? This ABC and PQR are similar to each other. Now let us see this second statement. If angles in a linear pair are congruent, then each of them is a right angle. This is given in the conditional form only, conditional statement, because if and then these two words are used. So after if is antecedent and after then is consequent. So angles in a linear pair are congruent. We have to draw two angles which are in a linear pair also, and they are congruent with each other also. So then they will be right angle. So such a way we have to draw angles in a linear pair, and they should be congruent also. We all know angles in a linear pair are supplementary. That means their total is 180 degree. So if we draw two angles whose total is 180 degree and they are congruent also, so that means each of them should be 90 90 90 plus 90, we will get 180. So we have to draw the angle like this. These are the linear pair angles and their total is 180 degree, their sum is 180 degree. So each of them should be of 90 degree. They should be of right angle. So let us give some name to these angles. So from this given conditional statement, we will be writing antecedent and consequent. So antecedent is the statement which is written after this word if. Angles in a linear pair are congruent. So which two angles are here in the linear pair? Angle ABC and angle ABD. So these two angles are congruent. This is given to us. Angle ABC and angle ABD are angles in a linear pair and they are congruent also, and angle ABC is congruent with angle ABD. This is given. This is antecedent. They are linear pair also and they are congruent also. Then what is its consequent? What is its result? Its result will be measure of these two angles is 90 degree. Angle ABC is also equal to 90 degree and angle ABD is also equal to 90 degree. So in a consequent, what is its result? Consequent means result, the part to be proved. So ABC and ABD angles are linear pair also and congruent also. That means what? Their measure is 90 degree. Therefore measure of angle ABC is equal to measure of angle ABD. Both are equal to 90 degree. Their measure is equal to 90 degree. This is the consequent, or this is the part to be proved. Now let us see third statement. So the third statement is, if altitudes drawn on two sides of a triangle are congruent, then those two sides are congruent. So here also we have given it in the conditional statement. After if, the given statement is antecedent, we all know, and after then the given statement is consequent. This is antecedent and this is consequent, but we have to write in the form of statement which are in the figure. So we will be drawing the figure first. Altitudes drawn on two sides of the triangle. So we have to draw the triangle first. Let us draw any triangle. In all these diagrams, the measurements are not important. We have to draw the diagram only. It is not according to any measurement in this question number 10. So I have drawn a triangle ABC. Altitude drawn on two sides. We all know altitude means a segment which joins or which is perpendicular from the vertex on its opposite side. So if you take vertex C, its opposite side is AB. So from C we have to draw perpendicular on the opposite side AB. So this CR is the altitude from point C on opposite side AB. Correct? And it is perpendicular. We all know altitudes are the perpendicular segment. So CR is perpendicular on AB. Similarly, either from vertex B we can draw a perpendicular on AC, which will be the second altitude, or from A we can draw the perpendicular on side BC, which will be the second altitude. Any one altitude we can draw. So from B I will be drawing the second altitude. Okay, draw it carefully. So it is BP. BP, this is second altitude. So in this way, what is given to us? We have drawn two altitudes. Altitudes drawn on two sides of a triangle are congruent. These altitudes are drawn on the opposite side, so that's why they are perpendicular also. And what is given? These two altitudes are congruent with each other. This is given. So this given part should be written in the antecedent. So in antecedent, we have to write given antecedent. What is given? We have given that in triangle ABC, this altitude CR is perpendicular on side AB. So sec CR perpendicular side AB, and sec BP perpendicular side AC. In this way, as they are perpendicular, they have become the altitude. So these two are altitude also, and these two are congruent with each other. Sec CR is congruent with sec BP. So this is given to us: sec CR perpendicular AB, sec BP perpendicular side AC, and sec CR is congruent with sec BP. So CR and BP are congruent with each other. Then what is the consequent? What is its result, or what is to be proved? Those two sides are congruent. Which two sides? The sides on which these two altitudes are perpendicular to each other. So which are those two sides? Side AB and side AC. So what is to be proved? We have to prove that side AB is congruent with side AC. So that is our consequent. So consequent is what we have to prove? We have to prove that side AB is congruent with side AC. This is to be proved. So if you practice it properly, it will become very easy to draw the diagram also, and to write given and to be proved. That is antecedent and consequent. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.